I don't know if it's just me or not, but I feel like we need to speak more. I'm speaking to myself as I'm speaking to y'all. We need to speak more about the things that traumatized us. I don't know. I have this strong feeling like that's something that needs to be spoken up about more from me and from other people, because trauma comes in all different shapes and forms. You know, your trauma may not look like my trauma, or it may not seem as extreme to me as a form of trauma than for you. That's just how trauma is. Like that there's no uh there's no one dimensional aspect of what trauma is or what trauma can be for each individual person. And so I just feel like we need to speak more about that, and just talk about how these different forms of traumas have shaped who we are, molded who we are, in our beings and in our overall existence. So I said all that literally to say, y'all really want to know what did it for me for religion? I know religion is not one of those things we talk about. This is what did it for me for religion. If I've shared with you, if I've spoken with you on a personal level, and I've shared with you how I began questioning things at a very young age, especially in regards to religion. So what really did it for me, the trauma that did it for me in regards to religion, was how I came into awareness that my mom was justifying her measures of discipline. I'm sorry, it's not funny. It's not funny, but it is funny. My mom was measuring the measures that my mom would take as forms of discipline. She was utilizing verses and stuff from the Bible. Like there's this one experience where I was a talker. I am a talker. So I would always get in trouble for running my mouth. In terms of running my mouth, essentially either meant speaking on things that should not be spoken about outside the home, and talking during times where talking is not allowed. So like in school, if the teacher is teaching or something, I'm over here talking. I'm having side conversations. And I get in trouble. I get quiet. Oh, why are you talking when I'm talking about something? So yeah, so I would get in trouble for talking at school, and we're talking in general, but talking at school. And one of the ways that my mom felt the need to discipline me in regards to this matter was and I know I'm not the only one. I know I'm not the only one. She would wash my mouth out with soap. But she did it this one time. She would threaten and say she would do these things. That's the kind, like my mom was that kind of mom. Like she's gonna tell you, but she won't do it until she actually does it. And I just remember her referencing the Bible, saying how the tongue causes the mouth to speak or something. It was from the Bible, and she finally did it, and she actually like coerced me into eating the soap. And I just remember throwing it all up. So that created, or not even created, but contributed, because there were other aspects about my life that was occurring all around the same time as I was forming questions for a lot of things at a young age. I hope that makes sense. So this form of discipline was just a contribution to my trauma around religion and why my beliefs are just not like other beliefs. Yeah, that was a traumatizing event that I experienced in my life that kind of just had me looking sideways at Christianity and Christians. And trying to come to my own conclusion of who God is. And this is actually one reason why I dedicated myself. I want to say I was in middle school and I dedicated myself to reading the Bible. Old Testament. I went through Old Testament and New Testament. Y'all, my Bible was falling apart. I literally had like little stickies on like the pages, like full dedication. I'm like, I'm about to read this. I'm about to understand, because what are you quoting? what you punished me by having me do this and reference from something in the Bible. I need to read this Bible. I need to see what is being said. I need to know. So I dedicated myself to reading the Bible. And when I did that, mind you, I'm in middle school. When I did that, I started to come into awareness how you got to read in between the lines in a way of what's written in the Bible. But a lot of us are very literal. Is that the right word? So we take things literally. We take it as it said, black and white. Like there's like how it's presented is how we interpret, I guess. From our own, it don't matter. Yeah. That's how I came to discover that a lot of it was metaphorical. I pray I'm saying that word right because I always seem to not say that word right for whatever reason. But yeah. And I went down a complete whole rabbit hole when it came to religion, and it became so overwhelming that I said, you know what, we're just gonna put this on pause. We're just gonna put this on pause here. I don't want to stress my brain out no further trying to understand this right now. I'm sure I'll understand it along the way, and along the way I did, which is why I'm here now. But yeah, I really just said all that just to say that to y'all. I really think we need to start speaking up more about our traumas and the things that happen to us because they're funny now, to be honest, for some of us, at least for me. But yeah, that's it for me.